Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Wrestling Challenge review series for October 4th, 1986. And my goal is to get a good number of these up today, the ones that are available on the network. We start with Harley Race and Alan Martin. Harley Race is relatively new to the area. He has been crowned the king in previous months. Race, of course, former multi-time NWA champion, I think 7-time at that point. He hits a gut-wrench suplex and drops the knee right across the nose of his adversary. Martin really doesn't give a lot of value to his own approach here. Vertical suplex by Race, and again, drops the knee. I honestly think Race just came here for a quick money grab and maybe, just to say that he did it. A third suplex by Race, and then he hits the second rope headbutt on the inside and gets a victory there. Actually, knee drop. And gets the win there. Wrestling rebuttal, The Machines, which of course is Bill Eadie, Blackjack Mulligan, and sometimes Andre the Giant, and other various wrestlers like the Piper Machine, the Animal Machine, and such, Hulk Machine. But these are just the regular machines. In an interview, complaining about not having access to Japanese things like Mitsubishi cars and sushi and such. Kind of a goofy promo. Rougeau Brothers versus Bob Bradley and Steve Regal. Regal, of course, an AWA mainstay for quite a while. Mr. Electricity, not the British version. And the Rougeau Brothers, relatively new here. They have a run through about 1990, so about a 4-year run. Maybe a little less than that, but anyway. Some body slams here. Interesting in that the Rougeaus start off as baby faces. Bob Bradley, a guy who is a journeyman who does enhancement talent work for the next several years in the WWF, also has a brief run in World Class, among other places, and really the Rougeaus kind of take over. Interesting that they're brought in as French baby faces. I think they're trying to hit the international market in a new way. It's the only reason I can imagine that they would go in this direction. Anyway, Regal comes in. Jacques Rougeau does the nip up, hits the head scissors takeover. Really a lot of good match work and high flying for the day. The Rougeaus, though, as baby faces, never really get fully over. Their biggest run is their heel run, late 88 through 90. Adding Jimmy Hart into the mix to do their talking, I think, really helps them as a team. And, that's kind of there. Regal gets sent into the buckle. Hard slam by Ray Rougeau. Ray, who later goes on to be a French broadcaster for the WWF for quite a while. But Rougeau's clean house here. They are pretty good at double team maneuvers and tactics. One of the Rougeaus tags in, goes to the top rope, hits a top rope splash, or the enhancement talent goes for a splash, and then they do the bombs away finish that they're known for. 1, 2, 3, and away we go. Killer Crusher Khrushchev, who is doing a U.S. Army gimmick, almost on the heels of a Sergeant Slaughter thing. I think Vince certainly would have taken Slaughter, or would have preferred Slaughter be part of this. Going forward, he cuts a promo wanting the Intercontinental title. Him and Randy Savage doesn't exactly do a great deal for me. I don't think it would have done a great deal for most fans, but it's there. Dick Slater also cuts a promo hyping a desire to go at it with Paul Orndorff. I've mentioned before in previous incarnations, Dick Slater's a guy I never got. I'm hoping that as I go back and watch earlier territories where Slater was more of a role, had more of a role like Georgia and the like, that maybe I'll understand where his draw is. But to me, he's very little more than a Terry Funk ripoff or clone, and it's just not for me. Dick Slater and Tiger Chung Lee up next. Chung Lee has been with the WWF for a couple of years at this point. He was pushed for a little while, not so much here. Slater, who I don't think ever really fit into the idea or the vision of what the WWF would have been, could have been, should have been, is only here for a couple of months. I don't even think he's here in 87. Anyway, tie up Slater kind of doing the rebel gimmick, which never would work today, 30 plus years later. And, 35 years later, I just don't think that it would have worked. Anyway, Slater manages to hit some shots right under the gut, and Tiger Chung Lee tries to cut him off. Slater catches the boot, does the spin around for the punch, which again, brawling as a babyface, I think in WWF, if you're not established, I think that also makes you look a little bit weaker too, or at least a little less ingenious as far as offense is concerned. Snaps him over, drops the elbow, and obviously there's a few quick shots. Tiger Chung Lee getting everything he wants out of what's here. Back suplex by Slater. Slater manages to get some advantages and punches his man right in the face. Doesn't really get everything he wants out of it. And an Irish whip roll through and almost a football tackle. Slater's offense just looks a little bit off, like he doesn't really know how he's trying to get over, and an elbow to the top of the head from the top rope. 1, 2, 3, and away we go. Then we go to the Snake Pit, an interview segment hosted by Jake Roberts. Snake Pit and Butch Reed really trying to get over that he is the Natural. He says the Natural about 17 times in a 2-minute promo. His hair is natural, his muscles are natural, everything about him is natural, and it's almost overkill to the point of not being able to take it seriously. I don't know that this is the way to get a character over. I was never, as mentioned, even in my Mid-South reviews, which, by the way, if you haven't done those, we are almost through the entire Mid-South run. Over 150, I think, of those up and available. So if you're interested in that, go over there, check those out. But a couple of LJN toy commercials, figure commercials. That's a pretty big deal for the time. The 85, 86 is where they really start getting into merchandising. And to this day, WWE probably one of the best entertainment companies, maybe other than Disney, as far as merchandising their product in a good way. The Dream Team versus Jerry Allen and Don Hastings. Dream Team, of course, former tag team champions Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. Of course, they lost the championships to the British Bulldogs WrestleMania 2 in probably the only really good match on that show. And Johnny Valiant, still a manager for them. Beefcake months away from WrestleMania 3, where he becomes the Barber, which is the character that I would imagine he's most known for, 87 through 93. He does the Barber character. Anyway, up over the hip by Valentine. Valentine, not exactly built for enhancement matches, as it takes him a while to get going. Jerry Allen, who is a decent babyface kind of enhancement talent, manages to get a body slam on Valentine, and actually I think he's the first enhancement talent match for Rick Rude in the WWF, if I remember correctly. Beefcake a little slower on a body slam off a tag. Allen tries to come back and gets a slam on Beefcake too. I noticed, and it's just a really small thing, but the kick out of the leg on slams is something that baby faces in the era do that guys don't seem to do as much today. Herc him up, and a big backbreaker by Beefcake 1-2. Beefcake pulls him up. Not so much a fan of the pull-up thing. Hammer comes back in. Valentine drops an elbow and then hits the shot to the midsection. Follows by a figure 4, and Valentine gets the victory here. Then we move to the, I don't know if I'd say main event per se, but we kind of move to the closest thing to a main event that exists in this particular program. Junkyard Dog and his adversary, which is, of course, Jimmy Jack Funk. Really basic match here. Nothing to necessarily write home about. Dog, who really all he has ever done is brawling, and a couple of headbutts here and there, and then the thump power slam. Dog's still over quite a bit in this era, and continues to be over in that era. Jimmy Jack Funk, who I guess is a failed experiment as a third Funk brother kind of thing. I guess that would be how I would describe it, in the sense that at the end of the day, Jimmy Jack maybe remains another, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, into the middle of '87, and he's gone. And I don't know that he ever goes as far in his wrestling career as he could have, because of the challenges related to that particular character. Then, after the thump by the Junkyard Dog, one of the most over things in the area at the time, Dog probably, I would say, top four baby faces in the mid '80s, maybe behind a guy like Jimmy Snuka before he leaves, and that. But then we see a promo with Stud and Bundy saying they basically haven't gotten as much of an opportunity as they should have for the tag team titles. Bobby Heenan, of course, managing them and kind of leading that charge. And that is the close for this particular episode. We'll be back with more right after this.